I was really into that rockabilly look for a little while. I had a t-shirt with, it's a black t-shirt and it said Elvis in red glitter across it, and I had this circle skirt like this, black on one side, green on the other, and these little crystal heel, like vintage shoes, and people would dance like this, and you'd just dance with anybody that asked you. It was really great. The other thing about the rockabilly thing, it didn't matter, you know. You could be a little older, and you'd be out with your girl, all dressed up. You know, it was all about the look. You would go out and you would be dressed from head to foot. I got a job teaching in a college, and it was my first job. I was teaching photography to basically a bunch of punks, and actually John Lydon had just left the college. I mean, you know, he was maybe 16, 17. So one day after class, I went out at lunchtime into the schoolyard, and we were all going to go down the pub, and I see these guys standing here against this wall, and I was like, can I take a picture of you? And they were identical twins. They were from Nigeria. I mean, these guys are wearing pork pie hats, you know, they've got lokes on, they've got the white socks. I mean, the fact that there are two of them, of course, is incredible. They've got this, like, incredible style. And a lot of the kids at the youth club were mods. These were all my students at the youth club. And I just started to document them every time they came, you know, I'd take pictures of them. Her riding on the back of a scooter and all of this. We're just going up and down the street right outside the club in Streatham. I just became obsessed with kind of youth culture. Come on, rock this city, come on. It was an amazing time in the UK because there were so many different youth cultures. You know, there was the punk culture, there was the rockabilly culture coming, there was mods, obviously the skinheads and all the oi bands, and then all the two-tone stuff, which bands like the Specials. And they were saying something to their parents, and they were also saying something to the rest of the country, like, we're not going to take this anymore. And it was really a revolution, and especially that there were all these different cults going on at the same time.
I want to be famous, don't I? Yeah, you love it.
You know, the Skins were really pro-England. It was all about England and England's glory. And then the punks were like, fuck England. We couldn't give a shit about you. This was really the first time that the working class kids actually gave a voice to what they were thinking and what was going on in their lives, and saying, we're fucking fed up with this. We're going to demonstrate, we're going to talk about it, we're going to sing songs about it, and we're going to look different, and we're going to do basically what the fuck we want. They're flaunting the back of their jackets, and they're saying the most extreme thing that they can think of. Belson was a gas, like super insulting to everybody, and you know, the UK still smarting over their wounds from the Second World War and all of this shit. You know, they were just going, fuck you to all of you, fuck you to everything that went before. And, you know, he's got his hair dyed. And, you know, people just really rocked their own styles, and it was not about money either. The culture was not about money, it was about just expressing yourself. The great thing about all these youth cultures was that, well, one thing, you know, one minute you were a fan, the next minute you were in a band, and you didn't really, especially in the punk bands, you didn't really have to know how to play your instrument, you kind of learned on the job type of thing. You never knew who was, you know, what was going to happen. I went to take some pictures of the Clash that were playing in Ladbroke Grove with Jimmy Percy and Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols. Joe Strummer beating up the drummer or pretending to beat up the drummer. You know, his gorgeous Paul Simon looking hunky on the side. I mean, Sham 69 was a skinhead band. And Sex Pistols, well, they were punk, and then the Clash was kind of punk mixed with But they were nevertheless all friends and they could all play together.
From this city. Yeah, that's it.
You know, you're going out on the road with some band and, you know, you don't have something to shoot every minute, so I'd be doing this, wandering around looking at the audience and taking pictures of them. And it was actually maybe more interesting for me to shoot the fans than the bands. Right around that time, I got asked to do my first album cover. This is leading to it. And I took all the money I had. It wasn't, you know, it was everything I had in the bank, and I bought a Hasselblad camera because I thought I need a square, you know, album covers are square, I need a square format camera. And this was the first album cover I ever shot. The Police. There were 3 punks when I got asked to do this. I remember the art director saying, I have a new punk band, do you want to do the album cover? I didn't have an assistant, I was just there with the art director. I think he was holding up a flash or something for me, that was it. I think about a year later I go to LA and there's my Police pictures on a huge billboard and, you know, bubblegum wrappers and like pillowcases and t-shirts, and I was like, wow, I kind of thought it was really cool. It was only later I just realized, well, I probably should have been paid a bit more for that. Here's a picture of me. I think it was like at a Madness concert or something. Somebody must have grabbed my camera because you're always taking pictures of people and people always go, oh, can I take a picture of you? So I guess I let some person take a picture of me and I guess I was having a good time.